When you are going to be $1 billion in revenue, your ERP needs are going to be very different. So, which are the top 10 large company ERP systems in 2024? That's what we are going to discuss in this video. So, let's dive in.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our #1 priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello everyone, my name is Sam Gupta. I am principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent ERP and digital transformation consulting firm. We help our clients with digital transformation strategy, enterprise technologies, selection, change management, as well as implementation. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is going to be top 10 large company ERP systems in 2024. Just to align our expectations overall in terms of how we have structured these market segments, we typically divide this into 4 different market segments. You have the startup, you have the small, you have the mid-size, as well as you have the large. How your large segment differs is these companies are going to be roughly $1 billion in revenue or higher revenue. They are going to have very different ERP needs. They probably have installed a couple of ERP solutions. They might have a lot of different ERP solutions in their portfolio, and their growth expectation is very higher as well. In fact, when you look at the large company segment, that could be divided into 2 different segments. One is going to be your lower enterprise segment, and one is going to be your upper enterprise segment. Typically, for the upper enterprise segment, the transaction volume is so high that is going to be millions and millions of journal entries per hour. So the needs that they are going to have in a system are very different. They are no longer limited to these functional capabilities. They are looking for very sophisticated scenarios, such as from the functional perspective, they might be looking to implement shared services business model, or they might be looking at operational or financial synergies. They might want to try many different scenarios. They might need intel to explore where they can find more value, financial value inside the organization. So they are going to have very complex workloads of the AI or the data warehouse. So that's where the needs of the large company segment is going to be very different. So the ERP systems designed for those segments are going to be very different in those capabilities as well. Overall, if we compare this list, we had published this list last year as well. So you are not going to see major changes as such in the list. The reason for that is because in general, in this particular market segment, you don't have a lot of moves. It takes time to develop these capabilities to mature in these target verticals, and that's why we have not experienced as many changes overall. The criteria that we use to compile this list is that what is the product share? Where is the product share coming from? Is it really in that enterprise space or something else? When we read the reviews of these companies, are these primarily focused from the enterprise companies, or are they more in the mid-market focused? Also, what is their acquisition strategy? Are they acquiring these capabilities to combine it with their enterprise products? Do they have enough attention for the enterprise products or not? Is enterprise market going to be their primary market versus the secondary market? So we look at all of these factors to be able to compile this list. So now let's look at the list. Number 10 on our list is Workday or Financial Force. Last year also we had Workday or Financial Force. For the most part, Workday has been developing their capabilities a lot. With respect to finance, the finance capabilities may not be as mature as some of the other ERP systems on this list, but for the service-centric verticals, which are going to be HCM heavy, and typically these are going to be companies that are very heavy in white-collar workers, typically their scheduling processes, the way they manage their resources, the way their human resources processes are, they are very, very, very different. And typically, these human resources processes are going to be very deeply intertwined. The way your operational processes are going to be intertwined with the financial or procurement, with the product centric organization, here that is very different. So, Workday, Financial Force, they are designed for service centric companies. Workday, one of the advantages that we have with Workday is the enterprise grade capabilities overall from the HCM, from the PSA perspective. They have that. So overall, when you look at Workday, it could be a great fit either as the corporate financial ledger, but then if you're looking for SAP grade capabilities or Oracle grade capabilities, when you are going to be very complex financial organization, those capabilities might not be there with Workday at this point of time. So Workday could be a great fit overall in their lower enterprise space where you require lighter finance capabilities, or the finance capabilities are not going to be as intertwined with the other function. Then Workday could be a great solution. The other advantage that we have with the Workday as well as Financial Force is that they are cloud native. Financial Force, if we talk about their capabilities, they are going to be very well penetrated into that Salesforce space. Before, Workday was really focused on that ACM category, and Financial Force was focused on the PSA category. Now both of them have both of these capabilities because they evolved over the period of time. So Financial Force is going to have far deeper capabilities from the PSA perspective. Workday is going to have far deeper capabilities from the HCM perspective. But overall, they both could be a great solution either in the best of breed scenario, or they could be great solution also for the lower mid-market segment if you're looking for the complete ERP. The cons for these two systems are going to be requires internal IT maturity. And if you are not going to have that, you are probably going to struggle with these solutions. The data model is going to be so layered that you require far deeper expertise with implementation. The implementation cost is going to be much higher than any other solutions that we have seen, let's say with mid-market or the smaller segment. It is also going to require the discipline with master data governance, especially if you are looking for best of breed architecture. That could be great from the user experience perspective, but that is prohibitively expensive, especially if you are not going to have these workflows pre-integrated. When you are trying to combine these capabilities from many different vendors, that could be a very expensive architecture. In general, you require far more expertise, and that's why we experience a lot more failure with systems such as your Workday or Financial Force, where companies decided to use best of breed architecture without understanding how much depth, expertise, consulting expertise, internal, external, both of them you are going to require to be successful with these solution. And obviously it is going to get very expensive as well because you are combining not only best of breed capabilities, and sometimes a lot of those capabilities might not be as meaningful for you, especially if you don't require them. So that's where your requirement analysis is going to be super critical as well. Okay, where do you have the biggest depth or the busyness in your transactions? And that's where you should be using best of breed, leaving everything else. So you have to make a case for best of breed before simply choosing a best of breed architecture just because that is going to be great fit for the company. But overall, when you look at the Fortune 1000 workload, you have to decouple your transactions. That's why they typically go for the best of breed scenarios. In their case, it's also hard to bring all of those companies as well as departments on one solution. So it's just much harder to implement just one ERP solution for the entire enterprise. That's why they choose best of breed architecture. But again, best of breed architecture is not always going to be the best option. So figure out, okay, what you really need and what is going to be the best fit for your stage of the company. So that's number 10. Now, number 9 on our list is QAD. Last year also we had QAD. Now, QAD has very deep operational capabilities for automotive, life sciences centric companies. It also takes a very unique approach in combining a lot of capabilities from ERP plus supply chain suite. So if you are going to get a supply chain suite such as your Blue Yonder or Manhattans of the world, typically you are going to have, let's say, if you're in the retail space, you are going to keep all of your inventory centric processes in those supply chain suite, and the role of ERP becomes just the corporate financial ledger. That might be okay in some scenarios where your transaction is not as expensive, but as the transaction gets expensive, then you require far more layers from the costing perspective, and that is going to be far more common in the industrial manufacturing distribution space. So that's where QAD really shines in combining all of those capabilities as part of one solution. You are also going to have pre-integrated capabilities more from the engineering as well as operations perspective. And typically for these companies, those capabilities are extremely intertwined compared to some of the other capabilities that other solutions are going to combine. So that's where QAD could be a great solution either at the subsidiary level for the large enterprise segment, or it could be a great main ERP for the lower enterprise segment as well. Then the cons that you are going to have with QAD are going to be similar to the cons that you have with any other focused solution. That is going to be their limited focus, means it is not going to be as diverse. Their ecosystem is going to be very limited as well. The consulting base is probably going to be limited. You are probably going to have problems with their documentation. The technology, even though they are upgrading at this point of time, it might not be as superior as some of the other born in the cloud solutions. So that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is Sage X3. Last year we had Info Cloud Suite M3 or LN at this particular spot. So when you look at the Sage X3 solution, it has two strengths. Number one, it is very deep accounting and finance solution. So for some of the lower enterprise companies, if they are looking for that corporate financial ledger, they can use Sage X3 as that. Or it is going to have very deep operational capabilities for certain verticals. For example, the pharma or agriculture, but it is not as proven with those enterprise workload when you look at those Fortune 100, Fortune 1000 workload. So Sage X3 is probably not going to be fit for those companies who are looking to host all of their operations, all of their finance inside one solution, global entities inside one solution. Sage X3 might not be as fit for the upper enterprise segment. The other pros for Sage X3 is their ecosystem. So when you look at these verticals such as your pharma med device, in that if you require the capabilities of pharma validation companies, they might be practicing, they might be familiar with Sage X3 product that you might not find with the other solutions. The cons are going to be very similar to the other focus solutions on this list, which is going to be focus consulting as well as limited best of breed capabilities with Sage X3. So that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Unit 4. Last year we had Sage X3 at this particular spot. So Unit 4 is a focused solution as well. They shine in that the large universities as well as not-for-profit space. So it is a very service-centric ERP, and the needs for the service-centric ERP are going to be very different. They are very differently designed overall from the suite perspective. The kind of capabilities that you are going to require for suite are going to be very different. So the overall, when you compare Unit 4 with some of the other enterprise solutions, Unit 4 has a lot more enterprise level logos compared to other solutions on this list. So the pros for this is going to be enterprise grade capabilities for universities as well as not-for-profit. Their cloud capabilities, even though it is a legacy solution, they are selling it as cloud. They have done a lot of work in the cloud, but they are not going to be as mature as some of the other solutions that have completely re-architected the platform. So their capabilities are probably going to be comparable to Info or Epicor. Then they have pre-integrated HCM as well as procurement processes. Again, these processes are not necessarily relevant for the product-centric industries, because identifying that human resource is not as relevant from the scheduling perspective inside manufacturing distribution-centric verticals, but it becomes crucial for the service-centric verticals. The cons are going to be very similar to any other focus solutions that are going to be their limited focus, the consulting base, etc. They have a lot more presence in Europe. They don't have as much presence in North America right now. So that could be another challenge with that. So that's number 7. Now, number 6 on our list is Deltek. Last year we had Unit 4. So Deltek overall, when you look at their solution, they take a very unique approach as well of their solution. So for the most part, they are going to have far deeper capabilities in that project management space. They are going to have far deeper capabilities for that government consulting as well as construction space. They are going to have proprietary data. The way their contracts are going to be are very different. So the way the data compliance is going to be in this particular space is going to be very different, and that is typically very transactionally intertwined. So that's why for these verticals, those capabilities matter a lot. Now, where Deltek is going to be limited is it is not going to be as complete, as diverse as some of the other ERP solutions that we have on the list. So that's why Deltek is going to be a great solution when you are looking at the subsidiary level solution, or maybe you want to combine a couple of subsidiaries on Deltec while using the corporate ledger, corporate financial ledger in the architecture to decouple the workload. That could be a possibility with Deltec. The other cons with Deltec is very similar to your any other focus solution, the consulting base. The documentation might not be as superior. Generally, that is the challenge that we see with any of the focused solution. The ecosystem is going to be very limited as well, etc. So that's number 6. Now, number 5 on our list is Infor Cloud Suite M3 LN. Last year we had Deltec. So Infor Cloud Suite M3 or LN, these are two completely separate products from Infor. They are bundling as Cloud Suite for many different verticals, and each of those Cloud Suite bundles that they have are going to utilize one of these solutions along with some of the other industry specific solutions. For example, when you look at PLM need to be very industry specific in general. The difference in PLM matter a lot more when you look at the industry specific processes. So they combine their bundle more from the engineering perspective, and they are going to have all of those bundles targeted for specific target market. So LN is going to be very strong in those discrete manufacturing verticals where some of the other manufacturing solutions might struggle. M3 is going to be for apparel as well as some of the chemical or process centric verticals. That's where M3 is really strong. Now, developing these capabilities, developing these integrations on diverse solutions might require a lot more implementation budget that not every enterprise, especially in the lower enterprise market, are going to have. So that's why it makes a great solution at the lower enterprise level, as well as if you're looking for subsidiary level solution for the large enterprise market as well, it could be a great fit. So the other cons are going to be very similar to any other focus solutions. It is not the best fit as the corporate ledger, just because you are going to be missing on those operational capabilities where it is really strong. So that's number 5. The number 4 on our list is IFS. Last year also we had IFS. Now, when you look at IFS is really designed for those project-centric industries, and they have very different processes in general, whether you look at some of those procurement-centric processes or the way the products are going to be structured. So IFS takes very unique approach, and they are going to be relevant in certain industries, and that's where their focus is very limited overall in terms of the industries where they are really strong. They are really strong in those field service processes. Now, for some companies, they might be really heavy in those field services processes. For example, let's say if you look at MRO centric organizations, if the only thing they do is the field service for very large equipment, that's where IFS really shines. They are also going to have very deep asset management capabilities. For these verticals, it might matter a lot. They are not going to be as diverse for other verticals, so that's why their solution is not going to be as diverse. So some of the other pros that we have is the data model is going to be aligned with those large programs, where some of the other solutions that might not be designed for those large programs may struggle. The cons are going to be very similar to any other focused solution. They are not as proven as the corporate ERP for the large enterprise market where SAP and Oracle is going to be prevalent. Sometimes you might see some accounts where they might be used just for the financial or for the best of breed scenario. But again, the workload expectations that for the workload that SAP or Oracle are going to be pulling at that large enterprise market is going to be very different. So that's number 4. Number 3 on our list is Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO. Last year also we had Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO. Now, Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO has one of the most diversified capabilities as well as the global capabilities, and the consulting base is going to be present in a lot of different countries, and that's why it makes it one of the most popular generic solution that you are going to find. Now, the challenges that you are going to find with Dynamics overall, when you look at the native capabilities, yes, it is going to have all of those discrete process centric capabilities. But when you look at those engineering centric integrations that you are going to find with Infor LN or M3, or you are looking for very deep, their field service solution is going to be best of breed that comes with your Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO. They also have very enterprise grade CRM that comes with Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO. But let's say if you're looking for the other best of breed capabilities, then you have to get from their ecosystem. Their ecosystem is very well prevalent. It's one of the most popular ecosystem out there. So you will be able to find all of those capabilities. But having said that, overall, when you look at the positioning of Microsoft Dynamics 365 FNO, it is going to be a great fit as the main ERP for that lower enterprise segment, or it is going to be a great fit as the corporate financial ledger, but it might not be as comfortable overall with their financial layers, the traceability that you are going to find with SAP as the corporate financial ledger. But when you are looking at that lower enterprise segment, it might be okay. So that's number 3. Now, number 2 on our list is Oracle Cloud ERP. Last year also we had Oracle Cloud ERP. For the most part, Oracle Cloud ERP has very deep finance capabilities that most of the enterprises are going to require. Yes, it is going to have all of those capabilities for very diverse business models as well, but it is not going to have as many pre-baked integration more from the engineering operations perspective. That's where you need to rely on their ecosystem. So depending upon what your need is overall. So Oracle Cloud ERP in general, they do a lot better in the service centric verticals. Okay, so for example, when you are going to be looking at your telecom, media, tech, that's where Oracle Cloud ERP really shines. The way their HCM is designed, it's really designed for those service-centric verticals. The way the integration of HCM to your ERP is going to be, to your project is going to be, it's very, very, very different. So that's where they really shine. Their main target verticals are those service-centric industries. So this could be a great fit when you are looking at that corporate financial ledger for the larger enterprise segment in the best of breed scenario, but it might not be the best fit when you are looking at the subsidiary level solution or the operationally rich solution, because that could be very expensive overall for the companies. So that's number 2. Now, number 1 on our list is SAP S4HANA. Last year also we had SAP S4HANA at this particular spot. Now, when you compare SAP S4HANA with some of the other solutions on this particular list, SAP S4HANA is proven far more times in that enterprise segment when you look at that Fortune 1000 workload. SAP S4HANA is also proven for far deeper transactional workload, especially when you look at the product-centric industries. That's where SAP S4HANA has real depth. It can work for very complex products, very complex MRP runs. When you are looking at these complex MRP runs at the global level, when you are looking for the ATP capabilities at the global level, that is going to be very, very, very hard for a lot of other ERP systems, especially if the product model is going to be very complex and they require very diverse capabilities. SAP S4HANA is also going to be really good for the global companies, as well as when you require that global traceability overall from the transaction map perspective. Even the other enterprise solutions, for example, let's say if you look at Oracle Cloud ERP, they don't have the same traceability built, the same governance flow built. The pros for SAP S4HANA is robust finance capabilities for global enterprises, for publicly traded enterprises. When you are looking for that financial control, that's where SAP S4HANA really shines. The cons with SAP S4HANA, their cloud capabilities are not going to be as mature overall in comparison to what you are used to with respect to your on-prem. It is also very different architecture. The way SAP S4HANA is designed, it's a very best of breed architecture. That's why sometimes companies feel that it's a very different product and it requires very different expertise overall to be successful with that. A lot more enterprise architecture expertise, a lot more data migration expertise, a lot more process re-engineering expertise with the SAP S4HANA product. It might not be the best fit for the subsidiary level solution. Also, it's not going to have as many last mile capabilities, and that's why it's not a fit for the subsidiary level solution. So that's it for this list. If you enjoyed this video, we are going to link a detailed article that is going to have far deeper insights. So you might want to check that. We publish these videos on a weekly basis. So you might want to check our YouTube channel as well as subscribe if you like. This podcast is also available in audio form as WBS Rocks on many different channels, Google, Spotify, Apple. So if you want to check there as well as hit the subscribe button. Also, if you have not checked our digital transformation report for 2024, we bundle a lot of these insights together for your digital transformation journey. On that note, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.